16 after 7 onto this now. It was the answer to their prayers. For months, learners and parents in Diepsloot were hanging in limbo. The Gauteng Department of Education could not find the children a place in any school. And here we are in the month of May. How do you catch up having missed 5 months of learning? But the department had a plan, a brand new school with all the bells and whistles, right? Not quite. After months of promises, delays, perhaps even excuses, the learners arrived at the new school, Tanganani. But to their dismay, there were no permanent toilets or even piped water. There were only 6 subject teachers available and certainly no plan to get them up to speed. What went wrong? Matome Chiloane is the Gauteng Education MEC and joins us now on the line. MEC, always a pleasure to have you on our program. Thank you for making time for us this morning.
Well, thank you. Good morning to you and good morning to your listeners.
All right. How do we send children to an unfinished construction site and call it a school?
Firstly, it's not necessarily it's certain sections that it's minor construction work. It's not that heavy construction work where there's dust, the whole site closed off. It's section. It's pavement. It's like we said, water, but there is provision of water that we have provided. There's toilet. It's just a connection of pipes that they're just concluding. So all of this is just minor. I would say the school is about 90% complete. This is where we are. So those are minor things. But remember now, it's not all learners that have been brought into the school. It's a phased-in approach. We still have learners that are in different schools around in the area, which will be phasing them into the school in the next week or two. This is the first crop, and the crop is 185. So these 185, where they are studying, the educators are there. Like we are saying, if the 6 educators, if you understand the ratio, it's 1 to 40 or 1 to 35, rather, it's because the primary. So the school does comply in terms of ratio, in terms of 1 educator and the number of learners that are present. So in that respect, we have put measures in place. So the kids will not be affected by the minor construction work that's been concluded.
All right. We'll come to the ratio in a moment, MEC, but just for clarity around what they found yesterday. So there's no piped water. The toilets are incomplete. After 5 long months of waiting to go to school, you are satisfied that despite those challenges, schooling can continue? Where
I'm sitting, the phased-in approach and the classes that are open and the provision of services that we have put in place, there are mobile toilets on site, there is a water tank on site. So those aspects are covered temporarily while we're still finalizing that minor construction. So these 185 learners, I need to explain to you, Bongani, that these are learners that were in schools where they were rotating. And also in oversubscribed schools. These are learners that they've lost, not full, but they've lost, I think, out of that 3 months of the first term, we can comfortably say they've lost at least a month and a half. All right. So we had to. So this was a desperate situation to bring them into, so that we can then begin to catch up with them.
All right.
But so far things are looking good. I'm happy with the progress that we're making there.
So you were ready, right? You are happy. You are comfortable. You were ready. There's some niggles here and there, but overall you were ready.
Yes.
Okay. How many teachers do you have at Tanganani right now?
What we have is subject specialists from the district. And remember, because it's a new school, new teachers are going to be appointed. Yes, the advertisement was done at the beginning of the week, which I am aware of. However, educators are at the school. Remember,
So,
subject specialists are educators, are teachers themselves.
Sir, it's a very simple question. How many
Yeah.
teachers do we have at that school right now?
We have 6,
For how many learners?
185.
And you were advertising posts on the
Yes.
very day the school was opened?
But there are teachers, there is an educator in front of the learners.
Hold on.
A subject specialist.
Yes, you've
in front of
explained
the
that.
learner.
You've explained that.
Yes.
I'm saying you were advertising posts on the very day the school was opened.
Look, Bongani, to respond to you, that process of appointing a teacher, remember when you can't just appoint a teacher preempting, especially now with satellite schools such as this one. Obviously, you needed the infrastructure in place, then you start the process. But, however, on the side of the department, we always have a contingency plan in place of getting educators to come and assist in the school. And that's what we've done. We've brought in specialists that will help.
So hold on.
learners
It's your
up until
policy.
their-
It's your policy to open schools even if you don't have all the teachers you require.
We can't. It's not. You can't say it's a policy. It's a school where we have educators, where there are educators in place, and we do have educators to come and teach. Yes, we'll open a school. Up until we get permanent, that will be permanently deployed to work at that particular school. There's nothing wrong. We have teachers. These learners
All right.
have
How many teachers do you
in front of them.
anticipate having? How many teachers do you want to have at that school once everything is out of the way?
Remember now, in terms of there's a number of learners. I've not got the full information in front of me, but however, we are looking at about there's around 480 learners that are deployed that are in different schools in the area that will be coming
So what?
in
So
over and above. Over and above.
the 185.
Yes,
So it'll be 185 plus how many do you say?
around 450 to 480.
450 to 480.
Yes.
And how long do you expect this process to be completed?
By month end, we should have all the educators, because now the process has started. We're anticipating to have appointed full-time teachers at that school by month end. And by month end, all those learners that are in different schools, because some of them are in halls in different schools, they'll be coming into the school.
So
Yes.
would you appreciate a different point of view that says have all your ducks in a row so that by the time these 450 to 480 learners arrive, there are actual teachers there, that the idea that you started this process without having all the teachers, that you were advertising for posts on the day the school was opening, without all the facilities being ready, that this was a rushed process. Would you say that's fair criticism?
No, definitely not. I don't agree. Teachers are there. Let's remove the idea there's no teacher. There's a teacher in front of kids.
Nobody
Those are
said there was no
teachers.
nobody said there were no
Yes.
teachers.
Now
Neither
we're
you
removing
nor
that
I.
one. Now, when you say it's rushed, it's 90% complete. It's a phased-in approach. That's what you do when you open new schools. You phase it in.
So
You
in
don't
the
bring
next
all-
month, hold on, in the next month, you're going to add, what, 500 thereabouts, almost 500 learners. You're still finding the teachers to teach them. The infrastructure is not necessarily complete, but you reckon you are ready. And you will not accept that perhaps you could have had the teachers in place ready for learners, because I imagine they're not going to all come in on the same day. Are they? These learners?
I'm repeating to you, Bongani, it's phased-in approach. Secondly, educators are there in front of learners. Desks and chairs are delivered. LTSM has been, which is learner teacher support material. The kids have all the tools that are there at the school.
All right.
As I speak to you now.
Let me ask you a different question. How much did your department send back to Treasury because it was money you could not spend? Do you have that figure?
It's not money that you could not explain. It can also be explained. That is money that belongs to salaries, and it's not that the money is not committed. There's a process when you employ new educators where they need to be registered into the system,
Sir,
and that process is handled
sir.
by. Can I explain the money first, so that you understand that it's not money for infrastructure work. Our money has been spent. If you listen to the MEC, we'll spend 100% of money. The one that is left is money that's committed to educators who have not. There are teachers that we still owe 3 months. So the minute that they're registered,
How much
in the
money
system,
did you send back to Treasury? Do you know?
No, the money is not. It's been rolled over. It's not been sent there because it's committed. It's for salaries.
How much money was that?
It's around almost 300 million.
300 million rand unspent. And this is the kind of scenario we're dealing with in your schools.
Well,
let me see. Would you
why
say...
don't you want to listen to reason?
Would
Why
you
don't
say...
you want to listen to reason? I'm
MEC.
saying to you, the money is committed. Teachers are in schools. Some of them have not been paid because they've been still being registered. The minute they get registered, they're still going to get paid. So that money that you're talking about is already belonging to somebody who's in school working yet to be paid.
The provincial treasury head, Mumi Samnyani, said 317 million rand from the Gauteng Education Department was sent back to Treasury. My question to you now, would you, MEC, send your child to Tanganani?
Yeah, definitely. My children are in public schools.
Like
so
Tanganani?
They're in a public school.
Like Tanganani?
Tanganani is a new school, Bongani. It's a new school that we're finalizing it to be. Go back there in Tanganani in 2-3 weeks' time and come back and let's have an interview.
All right, let's do that. Hopefully in the next 2 weeks, then you'll be able to absorb 480 more learners and hopefully with the teachers to teach them. Matome Chiloane is the Gauteng Education MEC.
Current events, developing stories,
tough questions,
your voice making a difference.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.